Mayor Meer, welcome. Thanks very much for coming.
Thank you very much for asking.
You're our first official video interview here with LaPorte County Life set to launch, and it was great catching up with you for a few minutes, learning a little bit about your background. And what I would like folks to get a perspective of is, tell me about Ron Meer. Who is Ron Meer? Tell me a little bit about your connection to LaPorte County, to Michigan City.
Well, first of all, thank you for any opportunity to promote LaPorte County and Michigan City, Indiana in particular. So I thank you for that opportunity. But I am a lifelong resident of LaPorte County. Have went through the entire Michigan City area school system, grade school, middle school, and graduated from Rogers High School in 1982. Many of my family actually went to Elston, which was one of the founding high schools of Michigan City, and there's a lot of Elston Red Devil blood that still runs strong in Michigan City. But actually, my uncle Newt Meer was the athletic director at Elston for many years.
Really?
And I think the last time we won a state championship in basketball was in 1966. But that's still talked about in our community. But yeah, I mean that's my home for 48 years now, and I worked in city government for 20 years. Also served as a city councilman for 8 years. Three-time president of the city council in Michigan City. Served on the Human Rights Commission in Michigan City, and so kind of progressed into the mayor's position. And like I say, we have a great community in Michigan City. We're working on, we do evaluate our community, look at what, there are some issues, just like I think every community has, but we're addressing them. That's the important part, is that you identify what's wrong and then take action to remedy those problems.
What is it about being the mayor of Michigan City that makes you most proud? It's awesome to be in a leadership position for a city, but what is it about Michigan City that makes it home for you?
Well, we have great people, and recently we've been hearing about the hospitality that Michigan City has, and so many times you hear things that communities aren't friendly to outsiders, and we're really working hard on that demeanor. We had the big boat Grand Prix race, and I'm a big outdoorsman. We're right on Lake Michigan. I mean, it's Michigan City. We have one of our biggest parks, Washington Park, right on the lakefront. We're really promoting Trail Creek and our stream. It's great salmon fishing. There's the boat races, but there's also just our marina and the lakefront life, if you will. And like I say, it's very nice to see the Michigan City residents be very accommodating to people who are coming from Illinois, Indianapolis, South Bend, and in the region for a lot of these big events that we're having.
And from an economic development and a jobs and a tourism industry standpoint, it's probably pretty key that you're all as good as you are at welcoming them in.
Absolutely. The one thing is that, yes, when we have these large events in Michigan City and tens of thousands of people are coming into our community, that's great because they're utilizing existing businesses, restaurants, support businesses, our hotels, and things of that nature. But one of in my opinion, the most crucial thing is the exposure Michigan City and LaPorte County get anytime that you're bringing in 50, 80,000 people into your community. There's businessmen who see your community, and that's when you have to showcase yourself and kind of show off so that maybe they'll invest. Maybe they'll want to move here or move a branch of their business here, so that's very important. And and you talk about our lakefront, we have the premium outlet malls there. We have Blue Chip Casino and gaming, and we've worked on our Uptown Art District. So the what I call the far north end, it has a lot of improvements, and we're continuing to work on that.
What do you see as you've evolved this year are some key groups that have really been a part of the history of Michigan City, but are also really invested right now in helping improve the city overall?
We have so many non-for-profits. I would be leery to just go down the list because that I would forget someone. But the city itself, some of our departments, for instance, our park department, our port authority, our sanitary district, which is very important to the environment, is keeping Trail Creek clean at the wastewater treatment plant. And But you know, there's a Blue Chip Casino itself really generates a lot of added revenues that other communities wouldn't have, because we have the gaming there and we have a gaming agreement, which allows a lot of monies to go in for infrastructure, but also approximately $750,000 goes to non-for-profits right out of the gaming agreement, which really assists them in our community. And there's a grant process that you go through to get those monies. But I mean, you have the Unity Foundation and the Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army. We just recently had the mayor's office had a fundraiser for our food pantry. And we were able to get approximately $4,000 raised, you know, on a one evening event. So that was
great.
good. Yeah, it was.
What, as you look ahead for the next, 6 months to a year, what are the things that you see are important challenges ahead that there's a plan about, or important opportunities you're looking forward to seeing happen?
Well, job creation is always very important. Working with our Michigan City Economic Development Corporation and promoting Michigan City and LaPorte, as I'm sitting here with you today and doing this and taking advantage of this situation. Yeah, we have some prospects, and a lot of people have to understand that sometimes these are very confidential conversations that are going on with a potential company coming into your community. As much as you'd like to share it and say, you know, hey, we might have 300 or 400 jobs.
3 or 4 things coming, but you actually got to hold back a little bit.
Right, because they've asked you to keep it confidential because of the competitive nature of things. And you know, I mean, that's exciting that I know that there's a couple of big fish out there that we may have on the line and you know, are going to bring into our community. And one of the things that, as a newly elected mayor, I'm in about my 8th month now, and is that I wanted to work on our overall image and demeanor in Michigan City, of having a clean, neat city, of lots cut, no trash piles, things like that. Your demeanor is so important, as we have all these guests that are coming into Michigan City, and that's part of the showcasing. And we have an excellent police department, about approximately 93 officers strong in Michigan City. And there's been a real emphasis on neighborhood crime, of keeping it down and addressing it, and having more neighborhood patrols and things of that nature. And like I say, it's not something, you know, crime is not unique to any community. You know, it can plague it, but we're trying to really stay on top of that. And my police chief, Chief Swistek, is very proactive, and it's you know, it's difficult work, but it's necessary to, you know, to keep our neighborhoods clean and safe. And I think that's a selling point economically too, as somebody comes into your community. Of course, your school system,
Yep.
the demeanor of your community, and crime. They look at those things before they invest in your community. And so we're addressing those very proactive.
You mentioned being a political leader in your 8th month. You got a neighbor next door, Mayor Blair Milo,
Mm-hmm.
that's in her 8th month. You know, often news coverage tends to consolidate around where people don't get along. We happen to take sort of a quirky view that we like to highlight with people who do get along. Tell me a little bit about the working relationship between LaPorte and Michigan City, between you and Mayor Milo.
Well, me and Blair Milo have a very good working relationship. We've actually worked on some economic development alliances between LaPorte City and Michigan City, and we have a strong commitment into that. There's a lot of folks that are driving from Michigan City over to LaPorte every day to work, and there's people coming from LaPorte to Michigan City. So it makes sense. I mean, one of the things that we've started to explore a little bit is an actual maybe bus service between the two cities that might loop out to PNC and things of that nature, Ivy Tech, so that people from LaPorte are, you know, we're just in the preliminary stages of looking at that. But we have a strong commitment in the Alliance of Economic Development. You know, we cross paths at various functions because we are both LaPorte County.
Yep.
And you know, and here's a perfect example of politics not allowing it to get in our way in any shape or form. Mayor Milo is a Republican, I'm a Democrat. We work together, and you know, all that is totally put aside for the benefit of our constituents.
and so you really view yourself as a city leader, but ultimately you're a county leader.
Absolutely. Yep. We're working with our county commissioners and county council folks too, who assist both of our cities. One of the things that does happen, and it's a little unfortunate for LaPorte, is that Michigan City does have approximately $9 to $11 million injected from the gaming agreement with Blue Chip Casino, and they don't have access to those funds like we do. So it really helps us as we look at streets and sidewalks and sewer and water separation projects and things of that nature. We really are blessed right now with that additional monies that we can use outside of our tax levy.
Let me close with, what are a couple unknown gems within Michigan City? Maybe a person, an organization, maybe a story that's not often told, about the fabric of the city.
Well, I think, and it's probably the same case with many cities, is that there's certain areas that are promoted. And, you go to the outlet mall, go to the casino, go to your Uptown Art District, go to the various theaters, things of that nature. But, being an outdoorsman, there's a lot of places, if you get off the beaten track in Michigan City and go down some of these side streets, Emily Street, 8th Street, and get along Trail Creek if you're a fisherman. Where else can you go? And this is in December and February, January, where I've been out on the creek fishing, and you can catch 10 to 20 pound steelhead and cove salmon and things, in the middle of the winter, and it's peaceful. And so it's, for a fisherman, I think it's a real opportunity that some people should come into our community and try the stream out in the winter and all year round, but particularly it's a little bit more peaceful in the wintertime. Not as many people are willing to get out there when it's 30 degrees or 25, but
Yep.
you dress for it.
But it's a whole experience that you can enjoy.
Yeah, in some of our pocket parks that people, like you say, once again, when I go into a community, other communities, I get off the beaten path and go look at their little side parks that they may have in their neighborhoods and things, and those are nice places to stop. There's parking and let your kids play and things like that, and you get a feel of the neighborhood also.
What, tell me, last bit is, and I always say last bit, usually one or two things before it's the last bit. Tell me a little bit about Michigan City's connection to Northeast Indiana. When you think of us as a region, how do you really see the region?
Yeah, well, that's interesting. Like I say, growing up in Michigan City and going to Rogers High School, which now is Michigan City High School, we were the Duneland Conference. So you had Valparaiso, Portage, LaPorte, Chesterton, Hobart. These, there was all the Duneland Conference. A very tough conference in football and basketball. Some of that has tapered off the importance of basketball in our community in Michigan City. I'd like to see that. Our stadium at Michigan City High School, I think, the basketball arena holds approximately 6,000, and I remember seeing that completely full many times just during regular season games. And so I miss that.
You want to bring that back?
That would be great, and some say, well, how can that happen? I think to get a team in there that's winning, we'll do it, and then you'll start to see maybe a resurgence of that again. But definitely Chicago has an effect on Northwest Indiana. We have a lot of guests that come in, not only into Portage, Valparaiso, LaPorte, and even up into southern Michigan, that are people trying to get away from Chicago and the big hustle bustle there, and we're trying to take advantage of that market also.
Yep.
Yeah. One of the things that we're working on right now, just started on, is way signage in our community. As people are coming in Highway 12 or Michigan Boulevard 421, is capturing them, this way to our lakefront. There's many people that might be heading up to Michigan to go to Lake Michigan. Well, you can access it through in Northwest Indiana also. There's places to utilize our beachfronts and things, and of course we have Mount Baldy and the National Lake Shore right there, and so that's a big
sort of just get out and enjoy it and soak it up.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity to just go out on trails and enjoy nature in the Michigan City area also, or just outside of our city limits, but what I still consider Michigan City territory. Yeah.
Well, we thank you very much for coming out here. We thanks for you for getting engaged sort of with LaPorte County Life, and ultimately over the months and years to come, we look forward to telling those and a ton of other stories.
Well, I thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yep.
great.